All right, what's going on, guys? Happy Thursday. We've got 4 games, so small slate. We're going to cover them. As always, we're going to talk about each game. I'm going to give you my favorite plays, and, we got 7. So 7 on a 4-game slate that I really like. But before we get into everything, make sure you guys subscribe to the channel. It's free. We are pushing 600 subs, so appreciate the love and support. Give the video a thumbs up and comment down below with your favorite play. Let's get into yesterday's recap. We went 4-2 yesterday. I'll take it. Good day. Wendell Carter Jr. did not play, so he was a null and void there. Our two misses was Zubac under 15.5 points. He finished with 17. He shot 8 for 10, 8 for 11, just really good percentage there. And then OG Anunoby over 23.5 points, rebounds, and assists. He was looking really good. He had 16 or 17 at halftime, and they just blew him out of the water. So didn't play as much in the fourth quarter because of that, and he finished at 22. So that kind of sucked. Jalen Johnson over 8.5 rebounds, sweat free. Ended up with 14. Trae Young over 10.5 assists. It was a tight line. He finished at 11. Zach LaVine over 3.5 assists. I'm not sure where he finished. He hit this early in the third quarter, so didn't really check after that. And then Buddy Hield under 3.5 3-pointers. This one was looking like a big miss. He came out and hit his first 3 threes. He had, 2 in the first quarter, and then he hit another one early in the second. So this was looking like it was busted, but he ended up missing his next 6. So he went 3 for 9. So cash that one. All right, let's get into the games. Let's review the slate today. Like I said, I like it. I think there's some value here. Let's talk about the Pistons and the Hornets. Kind of an interesting game. If we look at the Hornets, 5-9 on the year. 4 of those 5 wins have come at home. So they are much better at home. If we look at Detroit, kind of split. There's no real... I think they're 4-4 away. So batting 500 there. I can't get off Detroit here. I like Detroit a lot, actually. So give me Detroit. And if I had to pick the over-under, I would lean more towards the over 219.5. It's just with Charlotte. Depends on how they're shooting. I mean, they're so streaky on their shooting. I'll tell you a play that almost made the card is Cade Cunningham under 23.5 points. A little bit of a scary line, but he is 0 for 6 against Charlotte. He's never gone over that line, and I think it's minus 125 right now. So that was kind of the first play off the card today, but I do like that play. All right, next game, Timberwolves and the Raptors. 2 really good D. Raptors have not won. I want to make sure I'm right here. I'm pretty sure they have not won a game away yet. No, they're 0-8 away, 3-4 at home. If we look at Minnesota, they're 3-4 away. So you've got 2 really good defenses going up against each other. I really like the under 226.5, actually. I think there should be some good D here. I just don't trust Minnesota enough to give them 7. They really just have not showed me that they can get a big lead and then maintain it. So, and Toronto at home has been pretty vicious. So give me Toronto plus 7 in this spot. Jazz and the Spurs. Feels kind of like a letdown game for the Spurs after they just beat the Thunder. Still no Wemby in the lineup. So, I've got some cause for concern there, although they looked good without him last game. Let's see. Chris Paul is technically a game-time decision. Fully expect him to play. Zach Collins is a game-time decision. He's kind of 50-50. If he does play, another one almost made the card. Would be his over 6.5 rebounds. Actually, I think I did put that on the card. I do like that. So I do like his over 6.5 rebounds if he plays, but might be one where you want to wait and make sure he actually plays. But if he does, it's a really good spot. And we'll talk a little bit more about that. All right. No, really. Clarkson's a game time decision. Kessler's still out. So you could look at it. Collins rebounds. His rebound line is at 9.5, which I think is a little too much. So I would lean more towards his under rebounds, especially with Flipkowski in there. Just kind of steal some of his thunder. And then obviously Markkanen's going to pick off some boards too. Yeah, kind of feels like a Jazz spot. I hate taking a team that's 3-11 to win. but it almost feels like a spot for them. I would probably lean more towards that under 224.5. Last game, Magic and the Lakers. So kind of an interesting game. Magic played last night, ended up losing to the Clippers at home. So they're staying local to the area. No team plays tomorrow, by the way. So there are no back-to-backs for these teams. So we don't really have to worry about too much in terms of minute restrictions. Only thing would be with the Magic because they played last night, but I think it'll be fine. I'd have to lean Lakers at home, kind of a tough one to not take. I mean, they are 7-0 at home. So you've got a team that has not lost at home yet, going up a team that really hasn't fared too well away. They're 2-7 now on the year away. So got to go Lakers in this spot. 5.5 is a little steep though, I'll be honest. So it might be something where I include them on like, just take their money line and parlay it with something else. You could do like, something like a Pistons, Lakers, just money line, straight plays, something like that. Hard for me to take the Lakers to lose when they haven't lost at home yet. So just more of a system play there. Let's get into the best bets. I'll talk to you a little bit about why I like them, yada, yada, yada. Jalen Durant over 10.5 rebounds. Technically, the numbers don't really line up. Charlotte doesn't necessarily give up a ton of rebounds. That said, they don't have a center. Nick Richards is out. So due to injuries, I mean, they literally don't have a center. So I like Jalen Durant to kind of go nuts on the boards here. My only concern is Charlotte shoots a lot of threes. A lot of times that's going to bounce, foul line or beyond. So kind of doesn't bode well for Durant. But another play that's on my list, I will be playing this. It's just not on the card due to the odds, but it's Jaden Ivey for Detroit over 3.5 rebounds. That's at -142. That's the only reason it did make the card. But like I said, they do shoot a lot of threes, kind of bounces off, really good for the other guys that aren't centers. Next play, like I said, Zach Collins over 6.5 rebounds. Utah is 28th in rebounds allowed to the center position. He's over this in 70% of games without Wemby, where he plays at least 25 minutes, which I would fully expect him to play 25 minutes. Next play is going to be AD under 15.5 rebounds and assists. He's under this in 7 of the last 10. One of the things Orlando does really well is limiting assist and rebounds to the center position. They are 4th in assists allowed to centers and 5th in rebounds allowed to the center position. So really good value there. Next one, Jacob Poeltl over 10.5 rebounds. I like this one because the line opened at 11.5 and then it dropped, right? So a lot of people run the under. I do think it's going to be tight. Now the downside is Minnesota is 5th in rebounds allowed to the center position. They're only allowing 9.9 a game to the center position. That said, you don't have Kelly Olynyk. He's going to see a ton of minutes. So I like him to go over this line. If you're not sure about this, you can take his over 15.5 points. I do think that he goes over. He's just been going absolutely ham the last 3 games on points. He's been in the high 20s or 30s. So that's another option as well. All right, next one, Franz Wagner, over 5.5 rebounds. He's over this in 50% of games. You've got the center. Let me make sure I'm not spewing out. So you got Goga Batadze. He hasn't been rebounding a ton. He's been so erratic. Obviously, no Banchero. Wendell Carter Jr. is definitely going to be out for this game as well. So someone's got to get rebounds, right? I think it's going to be the Wagner brothers. But if we look at the Lakers, they're averaging 8 rebounds to the small forward position. So they're giving up a lot of rebounds. This line is really good value on FanDuel. It hasn't come out on DK. It's probably going to end up being like -150, or it's going to be 6.5 on DK. This is -185 on Underdog, -155 on BetMGM. So getting really good value on FanDuel for this line. Next one's going to be Chris Paul over 8.5 assists. I've just been pinging his assist. I mean, he has been going absolutely nuts. He's over this in 5 of his last 6, 7 of his last 10. He had 9 last time they played each other. Utah is 29th in assists allowed to the point guard position. They're allowing almost 11 assists a game. And we've just seen Chris Paul just absolutely crushing this line. He's had like 20-some assist potentials per game lately. Last bet on the card. LeBron James over 8.5 assists. I really hate playing LeBron props. I don't play them very often. This is too good though. It opened up at 9.5. It's still 9.5 on a lot of books. He's minus 185 on Underdog to hit this, minus 154 on Caesars, minus like 150 on I can't think of the book, but there's another book he's minus 150. So good value system play there. A couple of plays that didn't quite make the card. We already talked about Cade Cunningham under, Jaden Ivey over 3.5 rebounds. And the last one I like is Brandon Miller under 2.5 steals and blocks. He hasn't hit this line very often whatsoever, but it's minus 155. So those are just kind of plays. Those three, Cunningham could be a normal play, but if you want to take the Ivy rebounds, pair that with the Miller under 2.5 steals and blocks, that's how I'm going to play it today. And then maybe throw in a third, just depending on the value. Always like to try to get to like plus 200. So that's going to do it for this video, guys. NFL video will be coming out later today. We've got the Steelers playing the Browns. Should be a really interesting game. Some shitty weather. But we'll talk about that. So make sure you got notifications on. Subscribe to the channel. If you guys want some parlays, go to the Discord. It is free. The link is below. Kind of building the community, small right now, but I'll be posting plays in there today. So some parlays ideas for you guys, and I will catch you in the next video.